it was a mess, just a complete sort of scandal that we haven't seen in sports, and it happened in Serie A.
And the ref didn't see it, and I end up scoring, and I end up winning, and I end up eliminating England in the World Cup quarterfinal. Is that cheating?
One that kept coming up in our conversations was Calciopoli, which, as many of you know, is involving the Italian team of Juventus and the cheating scandal that rocked them and got them relegated down to Serie B as they were found guilty for corrupting referees in a massive scandal that saw the Bianconeri relegated and had their 2 Scudetti revoked. So
It's huge.
It was huge.
Huge. This is an iconic cheating scandal. This is one of the most. And as someone with friends who are massive Juventinos, this is something that keeps getting brought up. This is something that fans of other Serie A teams will always bring up to them. It always hangs over their head. It's a dark cloud that will continue to hang over their head for many years to come.
And this is when they won the World Cup also, Italy. So,
but it wasn't just Juventus, Tony.
Yeah, they were like, I read about it, and I keep reading about it, and I ask friends all the time about it. There were like 6 teams involved, and Juve took the biggest hit because I guess that's where the phone tappings happened, and they had the recordings, and they did this investigation. There was a period of time where they actually turned it over and then gave them the ban again. Like, they went to court, and they decided, no, this didn't happen, and somehow Italian courts decided, yes, it did happen. And
that came to your mind was one that 3 of us agreed on, but I know one person at this desk did not, and that is the Maradona hand of God controversy.
There can be no question. That belongs right next to Calciopoli is the hand of God. Nico?
For me, it's not cheating. The ref has an obligation
it's not cheating.
to referee the game, and he didn't get the call right.
Was Luis Suarez using his hands in the World Cup, was that to stop a goal from going in? Was that cheating?
No, it wasn't, because he got sent off.
That's literally what I always say, but everyone says it's cheating.
Of course it's not cheating. Anybody in Luis Suarez's position would have done that. It's part of the nature of the game. Maradona didn't think he was going to get there, so he put his hand up. No one thought he was going to score it. And to the ref, I can't believe the ref didn't see it. The ref should have not only disallowed the goal, but booked Maradona.
The difference is Luis Suarez was trying to stop a goal. In this situation, this was scoring a goal. That is cheating. You're getting, you're putting.
What's the difference? You're being eliminated from the World Cup.
You remove yourself from the game. He knew he was going to get caught. He didn't hide it in his bushel.
Maradona would have probably thought he was going to get caught too. Look, this is my thing with the cheating, and I know at this point I'm willing to die on the Argentinian hill, and I'm probably in the unpopular opinion. And if you guys want to put it on the Mount Rushmore, go ahead and put it on the Mount Rushmore. But the referee has an obligation to ref the game, and if the ref misses it, I'm dribbling on the sideline, and the ball goes out, I'm gonna make sure it goes back in. And if the ref didn't see it, and I end up scoring, and I end up winning, and I end up eliminating England in the World Cup quarterfinal, is that cheating?
Yeah, because you willingly did something.
I thought you were going a different way, because when I talk about the hand of God, I'm always like, yeah, that goal shouldn't have been allowed, but the one he scored in that game should count as 2 anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But I thought that's maybe you can add that to your argument, because I always say that's like the greatest goal in World Cup history, I think, right, by an individual. So that's where I thought you were going. But yeah, I mean, he cheated, he got away with it, and they win a World Cup.
Okay, I will concede on hand of God if you guys give me another one.
No.
Jürgen Klinsmann diving in the 1990 World Cup final for West Germany against Argentina to claim the penalty kick that ends up giving West Germany the World Cup.
I'll go there. Will I go there for 4? Yeah, I might go there for 4. I'm not sure.
I don't think we have to do that. The 3 of us voted on hand of God. He's out.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
No. He
hand of God is on there, but I want revenge a little bit.
I know, but like we can't make our Mount Rushmore with revenge in mind.
Okay,
there's
back
only 4
burner.
spots.
Back burner. Let's put it on the back burner.
Jürgen Klinsmann dive was
egregious.
I agree with you.
And
that's part of the argument.
Part of the joking about that dive, believe it or not, is that actually was the start of the diving era, right? And if you remember the one player in the sideline in that game where he dove like a dolphin, like it was amazing. So the players actually used to joke a little bit with Jürgen about that.
Well, cool. Now I know who to blame.
Okay, so this is potential to be on Mount Rushmore.
Because of the ripple effect that it had?
Sure, and it was in a World Cup final.
Yeah.
English people, whenever there's people that are diving, the first thing that comes down from the stand in English culture in the Premier League, because they don't like this cheating, this gaining the advantage of cheat is what they chant all the time. But for all these players that spend time on the field, diving, grabbing their leg, which is rampant in soccer nowadays, I do have one that I think has more potential than a lot of the ones that we discussed.
So Klinsmann on the back burner, the dive. What's the other one?
The disgrace of Gijón at the 1982 World Cup.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was that what you were going to bring up?
I wasn't the one I was going to bring up because I knew he was going to say that, but I wholeheartedly agree.
It was before the third match day 3 in group stages of the World Cup were played simultaneously. Right,
because of this game that they are
exactly. West Germany needed to win by 1 or 2 goals against Austria to go through to the next round. But Austria also found out that with a 1 or 2 goal lead, they would also be through to the next round, thus eliminating Algeria, who had already played all of their group games. And what happened? West Germany was winning 1-0. And let's call it an armistice. There was a truce on the field, which was disgraceful.
Yeah, if you pull back, I'll pull back. And it's not what the game is about.
That's bending the integrity of the game.
I actually think it's spitting in the face of the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so much bending it. No, I think it's horrific.
All right, so on the Mount Rushmore.
But because of the rules, did they cheat? I mean, or is it a scandal?
Yeah, they turned it into WWE. It was a preordained.
Yes.
A preordained result.
Yes.
In your mind, is that worse than paying off referees?
No, but it's still really bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's worse than Hand of God, in my opinion.
No, of course you'd say that. No, absolutely not. No.
I was thinking, because we had this heated discussion yesterday.
We certainly did.
This is like an hour and a half condensed into a couple of minutes, but it was funny. I was sitting in bed last night thinking, I'm thinking about all these scandals, and my brain went to the all-time greatest manager, win percentage-wise, in the history of England. Do you know who it is? Any idea? It's Sam Allardyce.
Sam Allardyce.
Sam Allardyce,
Scam
if you
Allardyce.
Remember,
that's what you were asking about it earlier.
was talking to a reporter about how to get around third-party fees. And he was being recorded at the time and dismissed himself as the England manager shortly after taking the job. But
one day
he was 1-0 as a manager against Slovakia, so he technically, win percentage-wise, is the best manager in England history, which changed obviously how people look at media, because now everyone was like so scared of media, but he was being taped.
Yeah, I have an issue with that though, because
it's not cheating; it's a scandal.
It's a scandal, and not only that. He was set up. Yes, what he did was egregious, but he was set up by the reporters.
100% entrapment, but you still took the bait.
Reporter cheat?
You took the bait.
On journalistic integrity, for me, yes.
100%.
For the pillars of journalism I follow, I would not have executed
the one positive that came from that situation, though, because there's video of him, is he was drinking a pint glass of wine at the table at the time. Sam Allardyce was drinking a pint glass of red wine.
Hey, I can relate. I start
know
yapping
that.
anytime I have wine, so probably
a pint glass of wine.
I'm sure there's no recorders out.
16 ounces of red wine. Wow, that's the most British thing I could think of. Is as you grow up and you get richer, you're just like, I'm gonna keep with the pints,
cheating?
But it's gonna be wine.
Putting wine in a pint glass?
that's cheating in my book.
Actually, that's a performance enhancement drug. To be honest with you, I don't think that's cheating. I think that's more of a scandal.
You have what more? That's.
I do have one, but you're gonna have to go all the way back to 1989.
Okay.
I don't remember this. This is something I learned about.
We weren't alive yet over here.
Yeah, this was something that I learned about.
Go all the way back to 1989.
Buddy, think about how long ago that was. 1989 is closer.
Disrespect.
1989 is closer to 1950 than it is to today, by the way.
Chelsea before said Carlo Ancelotti. She goes, the old man. I'm like, I played against him. The old man, like nothing.
Didn't change what she said, though, bro.
I'm taking swipes right now.
So in qualifying, Brazil versus Chile, this was the match that took place. So FIFA had given CONMEBOL 3.5 qualifying positions. So this was an opportunity to qualify. Chile needed to win. The manager and the goalkeeper, so far that's all we know, the goalkeeper being Roberto Rojas, came up with a plan. If we're down, we need a way to get this match canceled. So they had someone pretend to be a fan, throw a flare at the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper had razors on his person, took it out and cut himself and pretended to have gotten injured by the flare to get the game called off. Once it was discovered, it was considered the biggest shame in the history of football. That, to me, is premeditated. It goes against the spirit of the game. It creates doubt when doubt doesn't need to be, for whether it's the fans, everywhere else. And really, it's a massive embarrassment for your entire federation.
So I'm going to defend Nico here. I think the premeditation is something that needs to be considered greatly. And the hand of God, you can't argue, was
in a moment. It was
premeditated.
No.
Like, you might know that you're...
Do it again.
It was
cheating. It was cheating. Like, Maradona knew what he was doing in that situation. But to have a razor on you to inflict self-harm as
speaking of WWE,
I mean, go back to Copa Libertadores in the 60s. Bilardo in the Estudiantes teams, Bilardo, who ended up being the World Cup winning manager in
these were
1986.
the bruising Argentina.
Yeah. They
you
had,
left bleeding when you played.
They had needles in their socks, and they would poke their rivals. Copa Libertadores in the 60s, yeah, there was a lot of this like gray area of what you could do, what you couldn't do. It's a different era. I take that.
That is.
Can I suggest one more?
Hold on. Can I just say one thing? Roberto Rojas was banned from football for life.
Wow.
Think about that. You have to take that into consideration.
I forgot about that when it was so long ago.
So back in the day.
I don't know what this says about me, but I don't know if I want to win
89.
anything enough to...
The game was aired live on an Etch-a-Sketch.
myself.
To give you an idea.
1966 World Cup final, the game was 1-1. And Hurst, to try to win the game, hits a shot off of a cross. It bounces off the crossbar and hits around the goal line and out. The referee doesn't know if it crossed the line or not, so he looks to Soviet referee, Tofik Barhamov, and he gives a goal. It was England against West Germany. And the goal was given. There have been remakes of the black and white footage into color, and there hasn't been any clear evidence that it crossed the line. And I think from the part of the referee, the fact that the referee decided to give a goal, and let's remember that the Soviet Union had just lost a world war, and many of their civilians killed by West Germans in Stalingrad.
May have inspired it a little bit.
So talk about integrity and blending the line. The English say it crossed the line by a meter. From the footage that there is, that ball did not cross the line by a yard. It did not cross the line. So we talk about cheating, integrity, moment of premeditation. Oh, let me see where I can get the advantage. I can't believe they put a Soviet linesman in that final when you got West Germany in the final.
Yeah.
But for me, that's another candidate that I want to throw out there.
And there's been video from both sides, this mock video where they zoom in to the goal line and you can see the goalpost. One of the videos has the ball going over, and one of the videos has the ball on the line. And both countries had their own version of the video.
So, yeah.
This might